Hi there, and welcome on the journey to transform culture. I'm Steve, and I'll be your guide. Well, folks, today let's jump straight into a topic I like to call the giver and the taker. In organizations, you see this play out where one group is typically the giver and one is the taker. It might be the organization who's the taker, right? Being unfair and grueling and and overly austere towards the team. And then sometimes on the flip side, you might see where the team is the taker, and the organization is stammering and suffering because the team isn't coalescing and uniting together to achieve the required goals of serving the customer. So this is kind of the paradigm of the giver and the taker. And while you might think that typically the giver and the taker model works in most, say, relationships, the opposites attract kind of scenario, it really doesn't. The only paradigm that really works is when you have two givers come together. It doesn't matter if we're talking about an organization or relationships, right? Both have to be feeding that water wheel, right? Dumping more water in, it has to be perpetual. Because if one stops, the one that stops becomes the taker, and the one that keeps giving, obviously the giver. And this is what you don't want to have happen, is have these polar opposite situations going on in your organization, or even within the micro or the macro of your team, right? So you have small department level teams who might be doing this giver and taker scenario juxtaposed to other departments or individuals, right? You might have flaring of different individuals being givers and takers and so forth, right? Looking out for their own interests versus looking out for the customers and the broader teams at large. That isn't to say we don't want to put our own needs aside. Absolutely not. It just means that we can't make those the paramount, right? So how do you deal with this giver and taker situation? First, you have to be able to see it. And again, I think it's one of these things that once you've heard about it now, if you haven't heard about it before, you may have heard about it in places other than organizations, but probably haven't looked through the lens of this giver and taker situation through the lens of the organization. On the other hand, people think about the turnover and the poor retention rate, and you can see quite clearly people are voting with where they decide to work based on, is this organization reciprocal, right? Or if I'm going to give my best effort, are they going to, is there a reciprocal energetic exchange there, right? So this is the thing you have to keep in mind. Now, how do you overcome it? You have to be diligent. You have to be on guard, because even within ourselves, every day is a new day. It's a new day to make a choice to succeed or to fail. And it's a new day too to be, self-centered and a taker, or to be a team player and a giver. And we always see this play out where, well, if the other person if they, show this, then I'll show this. It's conditional on the other doing it first. Well, guess what? This is another arena where you just have to step up. And you just have to step up and be the giver. Now, if you don't see this behavior reciprocated, and give it some time, right? And don't play it passive aggressively either. Don't like set a mouse trap or a rat trap or whatever kind of trap you want to call it. Don't do that. You want to give it time to see if people are acknowledging, if management leadership are acknowledging that you're giving, great work and great effort, and that the engagement level is high, to be inclusive with the team. If it's not, then you start to speak up a little bit and you want to voice your concerns. Look, I have some concerns. I see our team is working hard, but I'm not seeing a lot of engagement. I'm not seeing a lot of reciprocation. You see what I'm saying? Obviously, it's going to be different for every situation. Every organization produces and serves, so many different areas. It's going to be different for a hospital than it is for a manufacturing plant, right? So these are the things you want to keep in mind, is you can't have an expectation that, well, I'll transform and I'll begin to step up and be a giver when the others are givers. No, you just all have to decide, even if it's just to sit in one spot and go, let's all decide right now to hit a reset button. We're all going to be giving our best effort and giving to the needs of the customer. And if we do that, and then communicate, if something doesn't, seems, in the Air Force, you used to call it dumb, dangerous, or different, right? So if something seems dumb, dangerous, or different, right, or unsafe, speak up. If something seems that it's unfair, and if there isn't this equal exchange of energy, it's not reciprocal, right? It's not fair, then speak up. But do so in a professional way, in a respectful way, and in a way that, back to the premise of what I talk about in the book, protecting love, in a manner that protects the sovereignty of everybody's, sacrifices for the team and in their own lives, right? For the things that they love just as much as for the things that you care about and love. And if you do that, then you're going to win. Your team's going to win. Individuals on your team are going to feel good. You're going to have a good synergy. Things are going to be popping. You're going to have fun, right? So that's what you want. You want to have a good time doing great work and create a great cultural atmosphere, organizational culture, create an atmosphere that is a positive, fun atmosphere. Okay, folks, that's all for that one today. Short and sweet. Remember, hit the good domino 3 to 5 times a day or more to uplift, motivate, inspire, and just encourage folks. And when you do that, not only are we transforming culture, but we're transforming ourselves, and that's quite an amazing thing. All right, hit like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.